Hello, welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen. How are you doing today? I'm not too bad. It is the season of flies here around my house. Did you know they have a season? Yeah. Well, think about it. Ticks have, like here, it's like, depending on the weather, April, May, June, sometimes into July, but usually they're gone. And then you have mosquitoes, May, June, July. Okay, and then the flies are around, all summer here and there, but it seems like it's August and bam, out come the flies. They're all over. And I mean, it doesn't help that we have, cows and horses and chickens, because, they like the manure and all that. And if you want to read a funny story, I have one on my website about driving with flies. So I'll post the link below if you want to read it. But anyway, yeah, it's been crazy. Just flies all over. I let my dog out and it's like she's going out, one's coming in, 5 come in overnight. They swear they breed and they, it's just you're constantly with that fly swatter, Yeah, so that's been my day. Just, oh, they're crazy. They're crazy. And the grasshoppers haven't been too bad, but I know they're coming because when you drive down the road, you see them, but they're not in my yard yet. So it's a bonus. I haven't seen them in my garden yet either, which is really, really interesting, but I'm sure they're coming just to demolish my plants. So yeah, what do you do? What do you do? My theory is this, okay? If they're outside, unless they're bugging me, they're gonna die. But if they're outside, that's fine. But if they're in my house, that's trespassing, and I'm sorry, that is grounds for annihilation. Doesn't matter what you are. Cricket, spider, I told them they're fine if they're outside, but don't come in my house. No. So anyway, let's see, what are we doing today? Oh, yeah, the bar. Okay, so you saw the ugly bar? It wasn't an ugly bar, but it wasn't the plan. So, like I told you, I was going back to the books and I redid it. Totally redid it. Yeah, totally scratched the recipe, did everything. And I just don't understand, like, I have my theories on what really caused some of those problems, right? Because it should have been fluid. Like the fragrance oil should have slowed it down a little bit. But, I mean, maybe it did and it was just supposed to be even more chunky, huh? Yeah. So, anyway, went back to the books, changed everything about it except the fragrance oil, and 3 things. Dream big. Be true to you. You are worth it. Let's go see what happens in this video. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm calling it the It'll Buff Bar. It's a great name for an exfoliation soap, isn't it? I'll tell you more about that later. But anyway, so I put in my oils to start. Okay, they were soaking in my oils. The kale and clay, the orange peel. Look at the orange peel in there. Look at that. The fine pumice, extra fine pumice powder, and the oatmeal. I probably wouldn't have had to for this recipe, but I just decided, you know what, I'm going to start trying to skip a few steps and see if this helps me out a little bit. I don't know if it will. It might, but who knows, right? But anyway, so this is super fluid batter, like super fluid batter. I have no idea why. It's a 50-50 split, hard oils and butters to soft oils, but yeah, you'll see. And I know the fragrance oil does slow it down. I did tell you that in the intro, but it's super crazy fluid. So I went back to the I Gotta Be Me bar. I just love those colors. The Merlot Sparkle and the Mermaid Blue. I might have used that one teal from Mad Micah's. But this is Mermaid Blue and Merlot and activated charcoal from Brambleberry. Yeah, I love that blue. I like that red too. It does discolor a little bit because of the fragrance oil, but I just really liked it in that bar. I was looking at bars and I was going to try it and go for something like more neutral, and I was looking at the oranges and the yellows, but then I was like, the honeysuckle's kind of that color, you know, and I was just like, yeah, and then I decided I'm just going to do this color scheme. I really liked it. Not sure I like the pour. I might go back to the I Gotta Be Me bar pour. I liked that. Give it a swirl. I'm going to do that next time. Yeah. And then I wasn't happy with the colors. I'm not sure why. Well, the black I can understand. I never seem to put enough activated charcoal. I'm so worried about putting too much that your bars will bubble black. It is a thing. But I don't know why I added the Marmalade. Maybe because I have no idea. I got nothing, guys. I can't keep my colors straight. But yeah, anyway, this was so fluid. Okay, guys? Like right here, I cut about a minute or two off because my son was making spaghetti. And so I went and helped him, you know, find the recipe and pick out the spices he needed and all that. And so when I came back and then I'm taking my immersion blender and mixing the colors. Like, look how fluid that still is. You know, that's just super crazy compared to not yesterday. Well, for me it was yesterday. Compared to the other bar. It's like, wow, you know. It's amazing. Well, tweak here, tweak there. Will do, you know. And this, I am just doing a bowl swirl. So I'm pouring the colors. Like the black goes directly, one plop directly across from each other. The blue goes one plop directly across from each other. I always save too much for the top. I don't know why. I mean, is there such a thing as too much for the top, you know? Mm-hmm. But yeah. So, and then, yeah, see, it's pretty. But it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what I wanted. I never get what I want, do I? Such is my life. I probably should have took the bowl and swirled it up and back. That would have been kind of cool, but whatever. Right? Whatever. Actually started freaking out because I was wondering if it was too thin to hold the orange peel and the pumice. You know, like, was it all gonna sink to the bottom? We'll see what happens when I cut it. And then I was popping it, but I had to make a peach crisp because my daughter had brought peaches and they were going, you know, they're getting to the point where you better do something with them or not. And I did some other things with them, but so I made a peach crisp. Well, I had to take it out of the oven. This is a drawback to the oven. I think I'm going to do a test between what works better, if the oven works better or if a heat pad works just as well. Yeah, I think I'll do that in a video. But anyway, down the road, guys, down the road. But yeah, so I took it out of the oven. It was still warm because I had left the oven light on, and left it on the stove, and it was really warm. So this definitely got like an extra C-pop. So it was it wasn't fragrance oil on the outside. It's almost like it had a lot of glycerin, you know, coming through because it was a little sticky, wet on the outside when I took it out of the mold. And actually, I probably shouldn't have cut it this morning when I think about it. Because I did it last night, 6:12. You know, it's probably 15, 18 hours since I poured it. Wow, that did really good. I'm sorry. Okay, the It'll Buff thing comes from my nephew and my son. Now, my son tells the story that when my brother and his family moved this last year, his teenage son was helping him move and some heavier things, and I think he hit a wall, you know, put a dent in the paint, the plaster, you know, texture, whatever, or the sheetrock, and his dad was like, "What the hell," you know, and smart ass kid says it'll buff, you know, and like I guess he said it a lot, and my brother was like ready to choke him. But that has become, I know I've said this on the baby lotion video, the it'll buff. That is what comes out of their mouth all the time. But anyway, yeah, it's a little, like, that really worried me. I saw all the orange peel on the bottom, and I'm going, oh my gosh. But it's pretty. It's a pretty pour. It's just beautiful, and it's got the flow to it, you know, and see that? Look at that. Pretty. Oh, I have a hole. Oh, gotta fix the hole. Did you see the hole? It's a little baby hole. That looks like a sun, like the sun, and then the clouds around it just poof. That looks like wishbone. I'm not sure what that one looks like. You have to tell me. What do you see in the soaps, guys? What do you see in the soaps? That just looks like a line pour. Isn't it funny how you get closer to the end? That's when you see the thin lines, you know? I guess if I really wanted to do a thin lines pour, I should have went back and forth the long way. But that's one end, and that's the other end. Aren't they just totally different? They're just so totally different. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I was impressed with how hard the bar was. Or I'm impressed now looking at this, thinking this was not a full 24 hours. You know, okay? Just saying. It was a pretty solid bar. It wasn't mushy. It wasn't, you know, like you could think it would be, but it wasn't, you know. And some of that's the recipe, you know, 50-50. And, you know, I don't add sodium lactate. I do add a little salt in the lye water, but that's about it. Just to harden it. Oh, and a little beeswax. A little beeswax. Just because I want to. Not that I have to, but I want to. There's various reasons to add a little beeswax in there. Yeah. So, I like it. It'll buff. And for some reason, my picture does not come in straight here. It'll buff. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for stopping by. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.